All right, today in class we talked about different organelles. Remember, those are little organs found inside of the cell. They each have a unique function. And I have posted the PowerPoint with those notes and pictures on the website. But I really wanted to take a moment to look at the differences between plant and animal cells. Now, I had you do that activity with the Venn diagram, and some of you used the T-chart. But I wanted to go through this with you so that we can have a better understanding of the differences and similarities. I hope that most of you noticed that there are many organelles that both plant and animal cells have. First one is the plasma membrane. Okay, so both plant cells and animals have a plasma membrane. And remember, this is that structure that is the boundary of the cell that allows for transport of nutrients into and out of, or wastes into and out of the cell. Both have mitochondria. Both have a nucleus. We'll look at these in more detail in a second. Both have ribosomes. Both have rough and smooth ER. Both have vacuoles, although there are some differences in the vacuoles, and we'll look at that as well. Both have Golgi. Both have lysosomes. And both have the nucleolus. Okay, so you've got the center area of the Venn diagram pretty much completely filled because there are so many similarities between plant and animal cells. However, there's something that plant cells have that we do not have, and that is chloroplast. And I wish I'd grabbed the green marker because chloroplasts should be green. Remember, they have green pigment that actually make them appear green to people, to anybody. And in addition to that, plant cells also have cell wall. Okay? Now, cell wall provides structure. And animal cells need structure too, but animal cells don't have a cell wall. What animal cells have instead is the cytoskeleton. Okay, so in general, that is the only thing on the animal cell side for now. We'll talk about some others when we get to a couple other units. But that is the only thing on the animal cell side that is only in animal cells and not in plant cells. All of the other things that are in animal cells are also found in plant cells. Now, I want to draw your attention to some very specific ones. Okay, these are some ideas that students frequently get confused with. A lot of students seem to think that chloroplast and mitochondria are mutually exclusive, meaning that if you have one, you can't have the other. However, that's not true. All cells have mitochondria because all cells need to be able to take food and break it down into energy. It's simply that chloroplasts are found in plants. So plants are able to make that food to begin with. And they make that food by photosynthesis. If you remember, that is the process by which plants take sun energy and convert it into sugar. A lot of students think that, okay, well, plants have chloroplasts, that's how they get their energy, so they don't need mitochondria. However, that's not true. After the plants make their sugar, they still need to break it down in order to get usable energy out of it. So don't forget that mitochondria are found in both plant and animal cells. Okay? The plasma membrane is one that kids think that a lot of times the plasma membrane and the cell wall are mutually exclusive. And again, that's not true. Every single cell has the plasma membrane. Sometimes that's also called the cell membrane, just so you know. Every single cell has that boundary. That is what separates one cell from another, or the inside of the cell from the outside of the cell. However, plants, in addition to that cell membrane, on the outside of it have a cell wall. Now, what I want you to think of when you see wall is that it's very rigid. Walls typically don't move. That's kind of how we like it. If we're in a house, we don't want those walls to move. It is very, very sturdy. And if you think about a tree, it's not walking anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It might sway in the breeze a little bit, but so can a very tall building. A tall building can also sway in the breeze. That doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have cell wall. It still does. So plants have cell walls to give them that structure and that support and rigidity. Animal cells do not have cell walls. I repeat, animal cells do not have cell walls. No cell wall. If we had cell walls, we would not be able to walk around the way we do. And if you think about it, you can pinch your skin, right? So your skin is very flexible, and that has to do with the fact that we don't have cell walls. You can't really pinch a tree. Really think about that. That the outside layer of a tree is not flexible. It has cell wall. However, we still need that support. And so what we have is the cell skeleton. Okay, so remember, cyto means cell, and then we have skeleton. Typically, when we think of a skeleton, we're thinking, oh, skeletons are very rigid. It's made up of bone that doesn't really it's not flexible. But if you really think about it, our skeletons are very flexible. We have joints. We're able to move around. All of our bones are connected to other bones, but we can still move them around. And that's kind of the idea behind the cytoskeleton. So it provides structure and support to animal cells. However, it is still more flexible than the cell wall. Okay, just like our skeleton is much more flexible than the cell wall of like trees, so is the cytoskeleton is much more flexible. All right, the light has turned off, so I'm going to go ahead and finish right there. Make sure to watch the video, and then we'll talk about this some more in class.